Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. You know, we love exploring the cool stuff happening in tech, and today we're going to dive into something that's kind of hidden but super important: software testing.
It really is.
And get this, AI is totally shaking things up.
Oh, absolutely.
We're using this awesome article called "How Can Generative AI Be Used for Software Testing?"
Sure. Great article.
It's mind-blowing because we're not just talking about apps working better, we're talking about AI changing how we build and interact with tech, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's going to impact everyone.
Right. Think about it. All the software you use every day, from apps on your phone to websites, all that stuff.
Yeah,
Behind the scenes, there's a ton of testing to make sure everything runs smoothly.
right.
And traditionally, most of that testing was done manually by people.
Ugh, sounds tedious.
It is. It's
Yeah.
time consuming. And honestly, humans make mistakes.
Oh, for sure. So are you saying instead of us humans trying to catch every little bug,
Yeah.
AI can step in and do it way faster and better?
Yeah. Generative AI can analyze code, predict potential problems, and even write its own tests.
What?
It's wild. Imagine this tireless digital assistant
Yeah.
that can go through thousands of lines of code, in seconds,
Oh,
and
wow.
spot things that a human might completely miss.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's not even just about speed, but about catching those sneaky bugs that could cause major issues down the line.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Think about a financial software company.
Okay.
Even a tiny error in their code could lead to security breaches
Mhm.
or mess up financial data big time.
Yikes.
That's where AI really shines because it can detect these tiny little flaws that humans might overlook, but that could have huge consequences.
Okay, so how does AI actually write these tests? The article talks about something called automated test case generation.
Right.
It sounds super futuristic.
It is pretty incredible. Basically, you have these AI models that are trained on massive amounts of data,
Okay.
code, user behavior, all
Yeah.
that stuff.
So they learn what's normal.
Exactly. They learn how the software is supposed to work,
Right.
and then they can generate tests that cover all sorts of scenarios.
Oh, I see. So it's like the AI is saying, okay, based on all this data, here are all the ways someone might use this app. Let's see if it can handle it.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? The results are actually really impressive.
I bet.
There's this example of an e-commerce company that used AI to test its checkout system.
Okay.
And the AI found all these scenarios that the human testers had totally missed, like using multiple discount codes or problems when paying with different currencies, things like that.
Interesting.
And this led to a 40% reduction in testing time and way fewer bugs after they launched the software.
Wow, so it's a win-win for everyone.
Totally.
The company saves time and money, and the users get a better experience.
Right, and it frees up those human testers to focus on the really complex stuff,
Yeah,
where you need human intuition and creativity.
it's like a perfect partnership. AI handles the repetitive stuff, and humans focus on the big picture.
Right. And speaking of AI finding problems, there's this whole other thing
Yeah.
where AI acts like a bug detective.
Okay, a bug detective. Tell me more.
So AI can analyze the code and compare it to databases of known vulnerabilities.
Right.
And if something looks suspicious, it flags it right away.
It's like having this incredibly sharp set of eyes scanning through everything, catching those little issues before they become big problems.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
It's crucial, especially with how complex software is getting these days.
Right, and all the cyber attacks and stuff.
Exactly. AI can help us stay ahead of the bad guys.
Okay, so we've got AI writing tests and hunting down bugs like a pro. The article also mentions something called regression testing. What is that exactly?
Oh, yeah. So regression testing is basically making sure that when you add new code, it doesn't break the stuff that was already working.
Oh, it's
It's kind of like imagine you're renovating your house. You don't want to add a new room and accidentally knock down a wall somewhere else, right?
of course.
Right. So AI can help prevent those kinds of software disasters.
Okay, so how does it do that?
It analyzes the code and figures out which parts are most likely to be affected by the changes you're making.
Interesting.
So it's like a targeted approach to testing, saving you a ton of time.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, and make sure the critical stuff keeps working even when you're adding new features.
So it's not just finding problems, it's like predicting where problems might happen.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what makes AI so valuable in software testing.
I see. It's like shifting from just fixing bugs to actually preventing them.
You got it.
Hmm.
It's about building more robust and resilient software from the ground up.
It's like having a guardian angel for your code. This is really eye-opening.
Glad you think so.
Yeah, it seems like AI is totally changing how we develop and interact with software.
It really is. And there's more.
Oh, there's more.
Yeah. The article also talks about something called performance testing, which is all about making sure software can handle real-world stress.
Oh, that's super important, especially for things like social media or online gaming, where
Yeah.
you have millions of people using it at the same time.
Exactly. Like, imagine a huge event is happening and tons of people are trying to use the same app.
Yeah.
If it's not built to handle that kind of traffic, it could crash, and that's like a nightmare
Oh,
scenario.
totally. It's like that moment when everyone's trying to buy concert tickets and the website just freezes.
Exactly. But with AI, we can actually simulate those real-world conditions.
Oh, really?
Yeah, by generating tons of virtual users. It's like creating a digital stress test for the software.
Wow, that's so cool. So instead of waiting for a real-world disaster, AI helps us find and fix those weaknesses beforehand.
Exactly. And that's just one more way that AI is making software more reliable and scalable for everyone.
Okay, so far we've talked about AI writing tests, hunting bugs, and even simulating real-world stress. Anything else AI can do in the software testing world?
Well, there's one more really important thing we need to talk about, and that's data privacy.
Oh, right. That's a big one these days. How can we use all this cool AI stuff without putting people's personal information at risk?
That's a great question, and thankfully there are solutions.
Okay.
One of the most promising things is something called synthetic data.
Synthetic data, huh? What's that?
It's basically artificial data that looks and acts like real user data but doesn't contain any actual personal information.
So it's like a test dummy for data. We can use it to put the software through its paces without putting anyone's real data at risk.
Exactly.
That's brilliant.
So companies can test their software thoroughly without compromising anyone's privacy.
I love it. So, for example, like a customer service platform could use synthetic data to test their chatbots without using real customer conversations.
Exactly. It's a great way to innovate and improve software while still protecting people's privacy.
This is all so fascinating. And it seems like AI in software testing is just getting started.
Oh, it totally is. And one of the coolest things about it is that these AI models are constantly learning and evolving.
Wait, are you saying that these AI testing systems are actually getting smarter as they go?
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
It's called continuous learning, and it's one of the most exciting things about AI.
Okay, so how does that work?
As they run more tests, these AI models are gathering more data. They're learning from past tests, from user behavior, from bug reports. They're constantly refining their understanding of the software.
Wow, so it's like they're building this massive mental library of all the ways that software can go wrong and using that to prevent mistakes from happening again.
That's a great way to think about it. This continuous learning is what makes AI so powerful in software testing.
This has been so insightful. I feel like we've covered so much ground.
We have.
AI writing tests, finding bugs, simulating stress, protecting data privacy.
It's a lot.
Yeah. But before we move on, let's just take a second to recap some of the key takeaways.
Okay, yeah, the big one is that generative AI is totally transforming software testing. It's making it faster, more accurate, more efficient.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
And that ultimately means better quality software for everyone.
Fewer bugs, faster updates, a smoother experience overall.
Exactly. But I think there's even a bigger point here, right? This isn't just about apps working better. It's about how AI is fundamentally changing how we build and interact with technology.
I totally agree. It's a huge shift.
It makes you wonder, if AI can write software tests, what else could it automate in the future?
Good question.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're deep in the world of AI and software testing, and it's clear that this is way more than just squashing bugs, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's about making the whole development process smoother, faster, better.
Totally. And that shift, it has some pretty interesting implications for like the whole software industry, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. And one of the big questions that comes up is what's going to happen to human testers, you know?
Right, like is AI coming for their jobs?
I think it's less about replacing humans and more about changing what they do.
Okay, I'm listening.
AI is amazing at automation, finding those common errors,
Right.
but you still need human intuition, human creativity for the tougher stuff.
Ah, so instead of manually going through every single scenario, human testers can focus on those like edge cases,
Precisely.
those what ifs that AI might not even think of.
They become more like detectives, you know?
I like that. Software detectives.
Investigating those tricky situations, making sure the software is top-notch.
So it's more like AI becomes the assistant, taking care of the grunt work, and then the human testers, they get to do the really interesting stuff.
Exactly. And as AI keeps getting better, it's going to get even better at working with human testers.
Learning from each other, yeah.
Totally. And speaking of AI's impact, we should also think about how it changes teamwork, like between developers and testers.
Oh, good point. Because, traditionally, there's often been a bit of a divide there.
Right. Developers are building new features, testers are trying to break them.
Exactly. It can be a little tense
A
sometimes.
little competitive.
Right. But AI can actually help bridge that gap.
Okay, how?
You can give them a common language, a common platform.
I see.
When both teams are using the same AI-powered tools,
Yeah,
they can understand each other's work better
right.
and collaborate more smoothly.
It's like AI is the translator, helping developers and testers actually speak the same language.
That's a great analogy. And this shared understanding,
Yeah,
it means faster development, fewer bugs, a more productive team.
that makes a lot of sense. It's fascinating how AI is not only changing how we test software, but also how we build it.
It really is.
Huh?
And all of this is leading to software that's more user-centric, which is awesome.
Right. Speaking of user-centric, we can't forget about accessibility for people with disabilities.
Absolutely. That's so important. And AI is making a big difference there, too. Tell me more. How is it helping?
One big thing is automating accessibility testing.
Oh,
So instead of manual checks, which can be time-consuming and error-prone, you have these AI-powered tools that can scan software
right.
and find accessibility problems,
What kind of problems?
like missing alt text for images or not enough color contrast, things that can make it hard for people to use the software.
Right. Those little details that can make a huge difference.
Exactly. And by catching these issues early on, it's much easier to fix them.
So it's about creating software that everyone can use.
Exactly. It's about a more inclusive digital world, right?
Absolutely.
And it goes beyond just catching problems. AI can actually help build accessibility into the software from the very beginning.
Oh, wow. How so?
There are tools that can analyze designs
Okay.
and suggest changes to improve accessibility.
So they can say like, hey, this button is too small or this text is hard to read, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like having an accessibility expert built right into the design process.
Huh. That's amazing. It sounds like AI is really making a difference in making software more inclusive.
It is. And as AI keeps getting better, we can expect even more tools and features
Yeah.
that will make software accessible to everyone.
It's really exciting to see. It's not just about making software better. It's about making it better for everyone.
And it's not just about accessibility, it's about the whole user experience.
Oh, right.
AI can help figure out how people are actually using software
Okay.
and find things that are confusing or frustrating.
So it's like watching how people use the software and then making it better based on what it learns.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
For example, AI can track user clicks, scrolling, even eye movements.
Wow, that's really getting into the details.
It's like having this digital detective
Yeah.
observing user behavior
Right.
and then giving us clues to make the software more intuitive and enjoyable.
I love that. A digital detective. This is all so incredible.
I know, it's a really exciting time to be in this field.
This deep dive has been so insightful.
I'm glad you think so.
We've talked about AI's impact on human testers, on teamwork, on accessibility, on user experience.
Yeah, it's touching every part of software development, isn't it?
It really is. It's changing how we think about the whole process, like from start to finish.
And while we focused on the positive side, there are, challenges too.
Oh, right, of course. Like what?
Well, one of the biggest is that AI, it can be hard to learn.
Makes sense. It's a whole new world.
It is.
Yeah.
It takes time for developers and testers to understand how to use these new tools.
Right. It's like learning a new language almost.
And then there's the challenge of fitting AI into existing workflow.
Oh, yeah. Companies already have their processes set up.
Exactly. It's not as simple as just buying a fancy new AI tool.
Right.
You got to figure out how to make it work with everything else you're already doing.
Right. It's got to fit in smoothly.
Exactly. And then there's the data issue. AI needs a ton of data to learn effectively.
Oh, the data problem.
Yep. And not just any data. It has to be good quality, relevant data.
So it's like trying to bake a cake without enough flour.
Huh. Perfect analogy. And in software testing, the data has to reflect real-world scenarios.
Oh, I see.
Otherwise, the AI might not catch the bugs that actually matter.
So it's got to be the right kind of data.
Right. And getting that data, cleaning it, preparing it for the AI,
Yeah.
it can be a lot of work.
Yeah, it sounds like there are definitely some hurdles to overcome.
There are. But even with the challenges, I think the potential benefits of AI and software testing are huge.
Totally.
It could really revolutionize how we build software.
And as we talked about, it's not just about making software better, it's about making it more accessible, more user-friendly,
Yeah,
making it better for everyone.
absolutely. And as AI keeps getting better, I think we're just scratching the surface of what's possible.
I totally agree. This deep dive has been eye-opening, and I'm really excited to see what the future holds.
Me too.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been exploring AI and software testing, and it's clear that this tech is, like, changing everything about how we build and experience software.
It really is a paradigm shift.
Right. But what about the future? What's next for AI in software testing?
That's the exciting part. There are so many possibilities.
Okay, I'm ready for some serious future gazing. What kind of cool stuff can we expect down the line?
Well, one area that I'm super excited about is how AI can change the way we develop software, like moving away from the old school waterfall method.
You mean like moving away from that step-by-step process of design, development, testing, and then finally deployment?
Exactly. AI could make it so that testing is happening all the time throughout the entire development cycle.
Oh, wow. So like as developers are writing code, AI is simultaneously running tests, finding bugs, maybe even suggesting improvements right then and there.
That's the idea. It would make the whole process so much faster and more efficient.
And I bet it would lead to better software too.
Absolutely, because you'd be catching bugs super early on before they have a chance to become big problems.
It's like having a constant feedback loop with AI working side by side with developers to make the code the best it can be.
I like that, a continuous feedback loop. And it's already happening,
Right there.
This continuous testing approach, it's gaining traction. I think it's going to be the standard soon.
So maybe one day we'll see software updates happening more often with fewer bugs and a much smoother experience for users.
That's the dream. And that brings us to another really exciting trend, AI-powered bug fixing.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
AI that can actually fix bugs, not just find them?
Yep, that's the idea.
Is that even possible?
It's getting there. We already have AI that can write code based on what you tell it.
Like you just described the problem and the AI writes the code to fix it.
Exactly. It sounds like science fiction, but it's becoming a reality.
That is mind-blowing. So you're saying that one day these AI systems could be part of testing tools and actually fix bugs automatically.
It's definitely a possibility. Imagine bugs getting squashed almost instantly, without a human having to lift a finger.
Wow. It would completely change how fast software gets developed. Companies could release new features so much faster.
Exactly. But it does make you wonder, what happens to the human developers and testers in that future?
Right. If AI is doing so much of the work, will we even need humans anymore?
I definitely think we'll still need humans.
Okay, good. I was getting a little weird there.
AI is great at a lot of things, but it can't replace human ingenuity and creativity.
So it's not about AI taking over, it's about AI and humans working together.
Exactly, like a partnership.
I like that.
AI handles the repetitive, tedious stuff, and humans can focus on the big picture, the creative problem solving, the stuff that AI just can't do.
It's like AI is giving humans superpowers, helping us do things we never could have done before.
That's a great way to think about it. And I believe that this partnership between AI and humans, it's going to lead to some amazing things in the world of software.
Software that's not just functional, but beautiful, intuitive, accessible, ethical.
Exactly. It's a really exciting time to be in this field.
This has been such an incredible deep dive. We've learned so much about how AI is transforming software testing, and it seems like we're just getting started.
We are just getting started. There's so much more to come.
Well, on that note, huge thanks to our expert for guiding us through this incredible journey into the world of AI and software testing. And to our listeners, thanks for diving in with us. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.
Thanks for having me.